The massive research vessel of the Galactic Council hung in the early morning sky above the small town of Pine Grove, Maine. Its silver hull reflected the sunrise, creating patterns of light that danced across the frost-covered ground below. The ship's arrival had been quiet. No dramatic explosions, no military displays, just the soft hum of advanced engines as it descended through Earth's atmosphere. Inside the vessel, lead researcher Green stared at his monitors with all four of his eyes widening in disbelief. His long fingers moved quickly across the control panel as he double-checked the readings. The small town below seemed peaceful enough, but the bioscanners were showing something that made no sense. "High Commander," Green called out, his voice trembling slightly. "You need to see this." High Commander Gray floated across the bridge, his hover chair making the soft whirring sound. "What troubles you, researcher?" "The scans show that the humans are living with predators in their homes, voluntarily." Green's voice rose with each word. "And not just one or two specimens. There are hundreds in this settlement alone." Gray leaned forward, his gray skin taking on a paler shade. "Impossible. No intelligent species would willingly share their living space with predatory creatures. Check the equipment." "I already did, 3 times," Green replied. "And there's more. These predators, they're small but equipped with natural weapons, retractable claws, sharp teeth, enhanced night vision, and incredibly quick reflexes." Down on Earth, in a cozy 2-story house at the edge of Pine Grove, Tom Baker was having his morning coffee. His cat, Oliver, sat on the kitchen counter, watching the strange lights in the sky with mild interest. Tom hadn't turned on the news yet, so he didn't know that governments worldwide were scrambling to respond to the appearance of alien ships over various small towns across the globe. Oliver's ears suddenly perked up. He turned his head toward the back door seconds before a soft knock echoed through the kitchen. Tom looked at his cat, then at the door, wondering who would visit at 6:30 in the morning. When he opened the door, Tom found himself face to face with 2 beings that were clearly not human. They were tall, with gray skin that seemed to shimmer slightly, 4 eyes, and long, elegant fingers. They wore what looked like flowing robes made of a material that changed color with every movement. Tom blinked twice, took another sip of his coffee, and said the most human thing possible. "Would you like to come in? It's pretty cold outside." The aliens, who introduced themselves as Gray and Green from the Galactic Council, accepted the invitation with careful politeness. They had chosen this house because their scans showed it contained both a human and one of the predatory creatures they had detected. As they settled in Tom's living room, Oliver decided to investigate the visitors. The cat jumped down from his counter and strolled toward the aliens, tail held high with typical feline confidence. Green nearly jumped out of his chair. "Sir, the predator approaches." Tom couldn't help but laugh. "That's just Oliver, my cat. He's harmless. Well, unless you're a mouse." Gray and Green watched in fascination and horror as Oliver rubbed against Green's leg, leaving cat hair on his shimmering robe. The alien researchers had never encountered a species that would allow a predator to make physical contact so casually. You keep this creature as a companion?" Gray asked, his voice filled with wonder and confusion. "Well, yeah," Tom replied, reaching down to scratch Oliver behind the ears. The cat started purring loudly, causing both aliens to flinch. Humans have kept cats as pets for thousands of years. They help keep pests away, and they're great company. As if to demonstrate his dual nature of cuddly pet and efficient predator, Oliver chose that moment to spot a fly. In one fluid motion, he leaped from his position, covering nearly 6 feet of distance, and snatched the insect out of the air with his paw. The aliens watched this display of natural hunting ability with their 4 eyes wide open. When Oliver then calmly returned to Tom and rubbed against his leg, purring again, Green made a note in his digital pad. Humans have somehow managed to domesticate highly efficient predators while allowing them to maintain their hunting abilities. The implications for the species' capabilities are concerning. This first contact moment, in a simple kitchen in Maine, would soon become famous across the galaxy. It marked the beginning of the universe's fascination with what humans casually called their murder mittens, the deadly but adorable companions that would eventually help reshape humanity's place among the stars. 3 months after the cultural exchange program, the Galactic Council invited a small human delegation aboard their flagship, the Star Whisper, for the first official space-based diplomatic meeting. The massive ship orbited Earth, its crystalline structure gleaming in the sunlight. Captain Jack Miller of the newly formed Earth Space Force stood in the ship's main conference room, accompanied by his ship's cat, Rex. Despite strong objections from the alien delegation, the humans had insisted on bringing aboard one of their feline companions as part of their ongoing cultural exchange program. Rex was a large orange tabby, chosen specifically for his calm demeanor and space training. He wore a special collar that helped monitor his vital signs and location. The cat sat regally on a floating platform, occasionally washing his paws while alien dignitaries tried their best not to stare at him. As we were saying, Ambassador Blue continued, gesturing at the holographic display of trade routes. These shipping lanes could be opened to Earth vessels within the next. Suddenly, the ship's artificial gravity flickered. Warning lights flashed across the walls as a computerized voice announced, "Warning. Gravitational system malfunction detected. Backup systems not responding." Before anyone could react, gravity failed completely. Aliens and humans alike began floating off the ground, along with furniture, data pads, and various other items. The room erupted into chaos as everyone tried to grab onto something stable. Everyone except Rex. The orange tabby, who had been dozing moments before, instantly adapted to the zero-gravity environment. His claws extended slightly, gripping the floating platform with perfect precision. His whiskers twitched as he assessed the situation, and then he did something that would change the course of human-alien relations forever. Rex pushed off from his platform with his powerful back legs, using his claws to navigate through the floating debris with incredible accuracy. He reached Captain Miller, who was tumbling slowly in the zero-gravity, and grabbed the captain's uniform with carefully controlled claws, helping to stabilize him. "Good boy, Rex," Miller said calmly, using his cat as an anchor to reach a nearby safety handle. The alien delegation watched in stunned amazement as Rex continued to move through the zero-gravity environment with perfect control. The cat's natural ability to orient himself, combined with his retractable claws, made him more capable in a crisis than any of the advanced species present. Commander Purple, who had been studying Earth's cats since the first cultural exchange, recorded everything with his neural implant. "Remarkable," he muttered as Rex helped guide another floating human to safety. Their murder mittens serve as natural grappling hooks in zero gravity, and their whiskers appear to be providing perfect spatial awareness. The ship's engineers worked frantically to restore gravity, but the process took nearly 30 minutes. During this time, Rex demonstrated an unprecedented mastery of zero-gravity movement. He used his claws to navigate along walls, his tail to balance, and his powerful legs to push off surfaces with precise force. When gravity finally returned, items clattered to the floor across the ship. The alien delegation immediately called for an emergency meeting, leaving the humans alone in the conference room temporarily. "Did you see their faces?" Miller asked his fellow delegates, scratching Rex behind the ears. The cat purred contentedly, acting as if nothing unusual had happened. "I don't think they expected that." Dr. White, the human xenobiologist, was already writing notes on her tablet. Rex just proved that Earth cats are naturally adapted for space travel. Their ability to handle zero-gravity situations could be invaluable for future space missions. Meanwhile, in the Alien Council chamber, Commander Purple presented his recordings to the gathered officials. "The implications are significant," he explained. "These creatures humans call cats possess natural abilities that our best spacesuit engineers have spent centuries trying to replicate. Their claws provide better anchor points than our magnetic boots, Their balance systems are superior to our artificial orientation devices, and their spatial awareness in zero gravity is unmatched. Ambassador Blue added, and they share these capabilities willingly with humans, their chosen companions. The incident aboard the Star Whisper would come to be known as the Rex Revelation in galactic history. What started as a simple malfunction had demonstrated that humanity's feline companions were not just earthbound predators. They were naturally equipped for space exploration in ways that amazed and terrified the galactic community. As Rex dozed in Captain Miller's lap during the resumed meeting, no one could have guessed that this was just the beginning of the 1 month after first contact. The Galactic Council had set up a temporary base just outside Pine Grove. The small Maine town had become an unlikely center for human-alien relations, largely due to the aliens' growing obsession with Earth's cats. Ambassador Blue arrived at the local community center, where the first official cultural exchange meeting was about to take place. The large room was filled with both humans and their feline companions, much to the nervous excitement of the alien delegation. "Please explain again," Blue asked Tom Baker, who had become an unofficial expert on human-cat relations after his first contact experience. "How do you ensure these predators don't attack while you sleep?" Tom smiled, holding up his sleepy cat Oliver. "They actually love to sleep with us. Most cats spend around 16 hours a day sleeping." The alien delegates exchanged worried looks. Commander Purple, the military attaché, made rapid notes on his datapad. "You mean to tell us these efficient killing machines choose to spend their unconscious hours in close proximity to their hosts?" "We prefer the term family," Tom corrected gently. "And yes, Oliver here usually sleeps at the foot of my bed. Sometimes on my face, if he's feeling particularly affectionate." Several aliens gasped at this casual mention of allowing a predator near one's face during vulnerable sleeping hours. The room buzzed with nervous whispers. The meeting continued with demonstrations of typical cat behavior. Lisa, the local veterinarian, brought in several different cats to show the variety among Earth's felines. She held up a massive Maine Coon named Thor, whose impressive size caused several alien delegates to float backward in their hover chairs. "This breed adapted to survive harsh winters," Lisa explained. "But despite their size, they're known as gentle giants." To demonstrate, Thor began purring loudly and kneading Lisa's lap with his huge paws, claws carefully sheathed. The aliens watched in fascination as the large predator displayed what they considered surprisingly gentle behavior. "And these murder mittens," Ambassador Blue said, using the human term with careful pronunciation, "they can be extended and retracted at will." "Yes," Lisa answered, gently pressing Thor's paw pad to demonstrate how his claws emerged and retracted. "Cats have amazing control over their claws. They can use them for climbing, hunting, or just getting our attention when they want treats." The alien delegation's scientist, Dr. Green, who had been present at first contact, stepped forward with a scanning device. "Our readings indicate these claws are composed of materials similar to some of our strongest battle materials. Yet you allow these creatures to walk freely in your homes." As if on cue, a young tortoiseshell cat named Patches darted across the room, chasing a toy mouse thrown by her owner. The cat scaled a nearby curtain with incredible speed, using her claws to navigate the vertical fabric effortlessly, before launching herself through the air to catch the toy. The alien delegates watched in stunned silence. Commander Purple's datapad clattered to the floor. "That's normal play behavior," Tom explained, trying to ease the tension. "Cats need exercise and mental stimulation. They're natural hunters, so we give them toys to chase. You deliberately encourage their hunting instincts?" Commander Purple asked, his voice shaking slightly. "Of course," Lisa added. "It keeps them healthy and happy. A bored cat can become destructive." The word destructive caused a ripple of concern among the alien delegation. Ambassador Blue quickly made a note to update the Galactic Council's assessment of human psychological profiles. Any species that would not only coexist with predators, but actively encourage their hunting behaviors, for fun needed careful consideration. The meeting concluded with a demonstration of cats' social behaviors. The humans brought out laser pointers, causing dozens of cats to chase the red dots around the room in a display of speed, agility, and precision that left the alien delegation both impressed and terrified. As Ambassador Blue prepared the day's report for the Galactic Council, he included one crucial observation. The humans have achieved something unprecedented. They have earned the voluntary loyalty of apex predators while maintaining and even enhancing their natural abilities. This suggests a level of psychological complexity we had not previously considered in this species. The implications for future relations are significant. Outside the community center, cats continued their daily routines of napping in sunbeams, chasing birds, and accepting gentle scratches from their human families, completely unaware that they had become the galaxy's most fascinating and feared Earth species. Space Cats Legend. News of the Rex revelation spread through the galaxy like wildfire. 2 weeks after the incident aboard the Star Whisper, military observers from 12 different alien species arrived at Earth's new Space Force Academy in Colorado. Inside the Academy's main testing facility, Commander James Roberts stood before a large observation window. Behind the reinforced glass, 20 cats and their human handlers were going through various space training exercises. The alien observers watched with a mixture of fascination and unease. As you can see, Roberts explained, pointing to a black and white cat named Scout, their natural abilities far exceed our expectations. Scout just detected a micro crack in the hull that our sensors missed. The alien observers murmured among themselves as Scout led his handler directly to a tiny flaw in the training chamber's wall. The cat's whiskers had detected a slight change in air pressure that even the most advanced alien technology had failed to notice. Impossible, declared military analyst Red, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly. Our scanners are the most sophisticated in the known galaxy. How can these creatures? He was interrupted by a sudden commotion in the training chamber. Another cat, a gray tabby named Shadow, had begun pawing at what appeared to be empty space in the corner of the room. Roberts smiled. Activate visual sensors in Section C. The air shimmed, and suddenly a small drone appeared. It had been using the newest alien stealth technology, supposed to be completely undetectable. Yet Shadow had spotted it instantly. Their whiskers can detect the slightest air displacement, Roberts explained. No cloaking technology we've tested can fool them completely. And that's just the beginning of what they can do. The observers watched as the facility demonstrated more tests. Cats navigated through tight spaces in zero gravity, used their claws to repair delicate wiring in hard-to-reach places, and demonstrated an uncanny ability to predict mechanical failures before they happened. In the advanced training area, a massive Maine Coon named Thunder showed how cats could help during emergency repairs. The huge feline carried a small toolkit in a special harness, crawling through a damaged maintenance tunnel that would have been too small for even the most compact repair droid. They're not just detecting problems, military analyst Green observed, making rapid notes. They're actively assisting in repairs. The implications for space warfare are significant. Roberts nodded. Thunder here has learned to retrieve specific tools when asked. His claws are precise enough to handle delicate wiring, and his natural agility means he can reach places that would otherwise require cutting through the hull. The demonstration continued with zero-gravity combat training. The cats wore special lightweight spacesuits designed to protect them while preserving their natural abilities. They showed how they could intercept small projectiles in space, their claws and natural agility making them effective at catching or deflecting debris that might damage a ship. But how do you control them? Asked military analyst Blue. Surely these predators don't simply follow orders. Roberts laughed. We don't control them. We work with them. Each cat chooses their human partner, and they work together as a team. Force or control would never work. Cats can't be ordered around like soldiers. They help us because they want to. This concept seemed to disturb the alien observers even more than the cat's abilities. The idea of a military force that relied on voluntary cooperation from predatory creatures was completely foreign to them. The final demonstration involved a simulated breach in the station. Before any alarms could sound, 3 cats had already led their handlers to the problem area. Their ability to detect pressure changes and structural weaknesses had given the crew precious extra minutes to respond. As the observers filed out of the facility, Roberts overheard military analyst Red speaking into his communication device. Update threat assessment of Earth immediately. Any species that can turn natural predators into willing space combat allies must be approached with extreme caution. Back in the training area, Thunder purred contentedly as his handler gave him treats for a job well done. The cat seemed completely unaware that he and his fellow felines had just revolutionized the concept of space warfare. That evening, as Roberts filed his report, he couldn't help but smile. The aliens had come looking for weapons and found cats instead. What they didn't understand was that Earth's murder mittens were more valuable than any weapon. They were partners who had chosen humanity as their companions among the stars. The first real test of the Space Cats program came during humanity's darkest hour. The Swarm, a hostile alien race from the Outer Rim, launched a surprise attack on Earth's colony near Proxima Centauri. Their crystal ships appeared out of nowhere, using advanced cloaking technology that made them invisible to all known detection systems. All known systems, except for cats. Aboard the Earth Defense Force flagship Thunderpaw, Captain Mark Wilson was awakened by his ship's cat, Nova, jumping on his chest at 300 hours. The gray and white cat was clearly agitated, his tail puffed up and whiskers twitching rapidly. "What is it, buddy?" Mark asked, immediately alert. 3 months of working with Nova had taught him to trust the cat's instincts. Nova raced to the bridge, leading Mark through the quiet corridors. The night shift crew watched in surprise as their captain arrived in his uniform, following a determined cat. "Status report," Mark asked, settling into his command chair while Nova took his position on the special monitoring platform beside him. "All systems normal, sir," Lieutenant Kelly reported. "No unusual readings on any." Nova suddenly stood up, his whole body tensing. He faced the starboard viewing window and let out a low growl. "Battle stations," Mark ordered without hesitation. "Shields up. Launch our cat patrol units." Throughout the ship, other cats had begun showing the same behavior. In the engineering section, a calico named Spark was pawing at seemingly empty space near the power core. In the navigation room, 2 siblings, Salt and Pepper, were tracking something invisible with their eyes. Just as the crew finished battle preparations, the first swarm ship decloaked, firing its main weapons. The shields absorbed the impact, but more ships appeared, surrounding the Thunderpaw. "Launch all fighters," Mark commanded. "Cat Team Alpha, deploy for external defense." 8 specially trained space cats in their combat suits launched from the ship's small craft bay. Their handlers monitored them from inside, using the neural link technology developed for the Space Cats program. What followed would become legendary in space warfare history. The cats could see through the swarm's cloaking technology, sensing the slight disturbances in space that their ships created. They led Earth's fighters directly to their targets, making what should have been impossible shots. Nova suddenly jumped down from his platform and raced toward the ship's stern. "Captain," he said into his communicator, "I'm following Nova. Something's wrong in the aft section." When they arrived at the cargo bay, they found 3 swarm infiltrators who had somehow beamed aboard. The aliens froze at the sight of Nova, who had positioned himself between them and the ship's critical systems. The infiltrators raised their weapons, but they weren't prepared for what happened next. Nova launched himself through zero gravity with perfect precision, his claws extending mid-flight. The first alien dropped his weapon as razor-sharp claws raked across his suit, creating a breach. The second tried to shoot but missed as Nova ricocheted off a wall, using his claws as pivot points. Security teams arrived to find 3 disabled infiltrators and Nova calmly grooming himself in midair. Similar scenes played out across other ships in the fleet, as cats detected and helped neutralize boarding parties that would have otherwise been invisible to sensors. Outside, the space battle continued. The cat patrol units worked in perfect coordination with fighter pilots, using their natural agility and spatial awareness to guide missiles through the swarm's defenses. Salt and Pepper, monitoring from navigation, predicted the enemy's movement patterns by tracking subtle space distortions. After 6 hours of intense combat, the swarm retreated. Their supposedly perfect cloaking technology had been rendered useless by Earth's feline defenders. The Battle of Proxima would go down in history as the first major victory for the Space Cats program. In the aftermath, as damage reports came in, Mark found Nova back on his command platform, calmly cleaning his paw as if he hadn't just helped save the colony. The swarm never stood a chance, Lieutenant Kelly said, gently scratching Nova behind the ears. How do you fight an enemy that has cats on their side? Mark smiled, watching as cleanup crews followed cats around the ship, finding damage that sensors missed. The aliens always focus on our technology, he said. They never understand that our real strength is in our partnerships. We didn't just train cats for space, we asked them to help us. And they chose to say yes. Nova purred in agreement, then went back to monitoring the stars. After all, someone had to keep watch for more invisible aliens, and Earth's space cats were always ready for duty. 6 months after the military demonstrations, Earth's Space Force launched its most ambitious project yet, the Space Cats program. The massive space station, Kitty Hawk, orbited Earth, specially designed to accommodate both human and feline crew members. Inside the station's main training hub, Director Emma Cooper watched as the first official class of Space Cats and their handlers prepared for graduation. 20 pairs had made it through the rigorous 6-month training program, setting new standards for space exploration and safety. Status report on Team 7. Emma called out to her assistant. Midnight and Lieutenant Parker just completed their final test. The assistant replied, checking his tablet. They detected and sealed a micro-breach in under 40 seconds. That's a new record. Midnight, a sleek black cat with bright green eyes, sat proudly on his floating platform nearby. Like all space cats, he wore a lightweight protective suit that had taken months to perfect. The suit protected him from radiation and temperature changes, while allowing full use of his claws and whiskers. In another section of the station, a large viewing window showed 3 cats in spacesuits performing an external repair drill. Their handlers monitored them from inside, connected through special communication devices that could detect both human speech and cat vocalizations. The most remarkable thing, Emma explained to a group of visiting officials, isn't just their ability to work in space. It's how they've improved our entire operation. She pointed to a Russian blue named Luna, who was currently floating near a solar panel. Last week, Luna detected a power fluctuation 3 hours before our instruments picked it up. She led her handler right to the faulty connection. Saved us millions in potential damage. The Space Cats program had quickly grown beyond its military origins. Cats were proving invaluable for all aspects of space operations. Their natural abilities, combined with specialized training, had revolutionized everything from maintenance to navigation. In the station's medical bay, Dr. Roberts was documenting another unexpected benefit of the program. Their purring vibrations, he explained to his colleague, seemed to help counteract bone density loss in zero gravity. Plus, their presence has significantly reduced stress levels among the crew. The most impressive advancement came from the navigation section. A tortoiseshell cat named Ziggy had discovered that cats could sense approaching space debris before it appeared on radar. Their whiskers could detect subtle changes in the station's electromagnetic field, providing early warnings of potential hazards. "Watch this," Emma said, turning to the main training area. The lights suddenly dimmed, simulating a power failure. Before the backup systems could kick in, all 20 space cats had already activated their suit lights, providing illumination and leading their handlers to emergency stations. Their natural night vision and calm response to darkness made them perfect for crisis situations. They're not just pets anymore, Emma continued. They're full crew members. Each cat has their specialty. She pointed out different teams. Atlas, a massive Maine Coon, specialized in heavy repair work, where his size and strength proved invaluable. Pixel, a small calico, could squeeze into the tiniest maintenance shafts. Ghost, a white Turkish Angora, had an uncanny ability to detect radiation leaks before they became dangerous. The program's success had led to some interesting diplomatic situations. Several alien species had offered massive trade deals in exchange for space-trained cats. Earth's response was always the same. The cats choose their own partners, and they couldn't be traded or ordered around. That's what the aliens still don't understand, Emma said, watching as Midnight helped his handler install a new sensor array. We didn't turn cats into tools or weapons. We just gave them a new environment to explore, and they naturally excelled at it. In the station's recreation area, off-duty cats and handlers relaxed together. Despite their impressive abilities and rigorous training, the space cats were still cats. They played with floating toys, demanded treats, and purred on their handlers' laps. As the first class prepared for their assignments on various space vessels, Emma reviewed their graduation records. Each cat handler team had shown unique strengths, but they all shared one crucial quality: absolute trust between species. The Space Cats program isn't just about improving our space capabilities, Emma wrote in her final report. It's proof that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our intelligence. It's our ability to form true partnerships with other species. In space as on Earth, cats remain our chosen companions, protectors, and friends. They just have a bigger territory to patrol now. 5 years after the Battle of Proxima, cats had become the most sought-after companions in the known galaxy. The massive space station, Feline's Pride, orbited Earth, serving as both a training center and a diplomatic hub, where alien species came to learn about humanity's special relationship with their feline partners. Admiral Jane Cooper, formerly director of the Space Cats program, stood in the station's main observation dome. Beside her, her cat Cosmos, a distinguished gray veteran of Proxima, watched passing ships with casual interest. Below them, Earth glowed blue and peaceful. Another delegation arriving, Admiral, her assistant reported. The Centaurians are very eager to understand how we control our murder mittens. Jane laughed, scratching Cosmos under his chin. After all these years, they still don't get it. The observation dome filled with visitors as the alien delegation arrived. They watched in amazement as cats and humans worked together throughout the station. In the repair bays, cats in spacesuits guided maintenance crews to potential problems. In the navigation center, feline sensors, as they were now officially called, monitored space traffic with their incredible whisker-based detection systems. As you can see, Jane explained to the visitors, we don't control our cats. We work with them. Each cat chooses their human partner and their role in our space operations. A small tabby named Pixel demonstrated this by suddenly leaving her post, trotting across the room to paw at a wall panel. Her handler immediately called for a maintenance check. Sure enough, they found a failing circuit that could have caused problems hours later. Remarkable, the Centaurian leader said, all three of their eyes wide. But surely you must have some way of ensuring their loyalty. Before Jane could answer, an alarm sounded. A ship had appeared at the edge of the station's detection range, using an unknown form of stealth technology. The aliens tensed, remembering stories of the swarm attack. But the cats in the command center remained calm. Cosmos simply yawned and continued grooming. 3 other cats nearby showed no signs of concern. Stand down, Jane ordered with a smile. If the cats aren't worried, it's friendly. Sure enough, the ship was a new Earth vessel testing experimental cloaking technology. The cats could tell the difference between friendly and hostile ships just by the way they disturbed space, something no artificial sensor had yet managed to replicate. You see, Jane explained, cats don't serve us because we control them. They help us because they want to. They're curious, playful, and protective of their chosen people. We just gave them a bigger space to explore and protect. In the station's residential section, off-duty cats played with floating toys in zero gravity, chased laser pointers across walls, and napped in specially designed floating beds. Despite their crucial role in humanity's space operations, they remained very much cats. The Centaurian delegation watched as a newly graduated team demonstrated an emergency repair sequence. The cat, a young orange tabby named Phoenix, carried tools to his handler in zero gravity, using his claws to navigate effortlessly through tight spaces. Since the Battle of Proxima, Jane continued, no hostile force has successfully used stealth technology against Earth or our colonies. Word spread quickly. You can't sneak past a cat. They've become our greatest deterrent against surprise attacks. The station's nursery provided another surprise for the visitors. Kittens born in space showed even better adaptation to zero gravity than their Earth-born parents. They instinctively understood how to use their claws and tails for movement, and their whiskers were even more sensitive to spatial disturbances. The future of space exploration, Jane said, watching a group of space-born kittens training, will be shaped by this partnership. Humans provide the technology and direction. Cats provide the instincts and abilities we never could have developed on our own. As the day ended, Jane returned to her quarters, Cosmos floating beside her. The cat had helped save humanity during the Proxima attack, but now he was just happy to curl up on her lap and purr. You know, she told him, looking out at the stars, the aliens think you're some kind of secret weapon. They don't understand that you're just being cats, curious, brave, and loyal to those you choose to love. Cosmos purred louder in agreement. Outside their window, Earth's space fleet patrolled the darkness, each ship carrying its own feline crew members. The galaxy had learned to fear Earth's murder mittens, but the cats themselves remained wonderfully, perfectly feline. Now they just had the whole universe as their playground. The end.